Hi, I'm Matt Sargent with ABC Acres. Out here today under some lilac bushes, hanging out in our turkey pen. Turkeys may or may not join us. You'll hear them in the background. But today we're going to talk about mulch and how if you're not mulching with the added benefit of mushrooms, you're doing it wrong. If you're watching our channel, more than likely you're kind of tuned in. You know that mulch is almost necessary for your landscaping projects, be it a vegetable bed, flower bed, perennials such as your lilacs or your mixed perennial polyculture food forest. You want to have something down covering that soil. Bare soil is the enemy. They teach that in permaculture. We teach it in holistic management. Bare soil is just dead, dying soil. It's not a good thing. So if you've got bare soil, you've got to mulch it. But if all you're doing is taking some straw or some wood chips and some leaves and putting it on, you are shortchanging yourself. Yes, mulch will help you avoid soil compaction. It'll keep the soil moist. It'll keep it cool. It does a lot of great things. It keeps it from drying out. But without the magic of mushrooms, you are not fully capitalizing on the full benefits of the mulch. So here in our lilac bed, we are growing winecap mushrooms, SRA, King Strophoria, Godzilla mushroom. It's got way too many names. It is a delicious mushroom and super easy to grow. The other good mushroom that is good for landscaping use is the oyster mushroom. But basically, if you put out mulch and you're not inoculating it with mushrooms, you're saying, okay, well, I don't need the added benefits of mushrooms right now. I can wait and I'll just let whatever mushrooms pop up. Cool, that's great. You still get the ecological benefits of mushrooms, but are you going to be able to eat them? Not necessarily. And as long as you're maintaining something for consumption, why not get edible mushrooms out of it too? So the added benefits of having mushrooms in your mulch or fungal matter in your mulch is part of the respiratory process of mushrooms, or maybe more the digestive process, is they release water. So you're getting even more soil or moisture into your soil, which will benefit your plants. They exhale CO2 and they breathe O2, just like humans. That's a cold CO2, it stays low to the ground. That's what your plants need to breathe. They improve and enhance nutrient cycling, and a lot of these species also help develop symbiotic relationships with the plants, which makes the nutrient cycling even better. And then if you're using something like oyster mushrooms, in a moment I'll show you using Phoenix oyster or pine oyster. We have a lot of pine available as mulch for really cheap here in Montana. Pine generally doesn't break down very fast. If you're using oyster mushrooms as an inoculant in the mulch, you're helping compost and turn that pine into a real rich soil. You're getting something, you're adding water. It's win-win-win-win. It's like it's beyond stacking functions. It's how things are supposed to go. So how do you do it? Well, if you're starting fresh, you don't have any Strophoria rugosa annulata on your property, you're going to buy a bag of mushroom spawn, or 2 or 3. 5 pounds generally does 50 square feet. Figure it out from there. There's a couple different sources. Mushroom Mountain is good, Field and Forest, Fungi Perfecti. I'll list all of them on the screen. You take them, you add a layer of mulch, put down a layer of the spawn, another layer of mulch. Easy peasy. Why wouldn't you do it? You're going to the effort of putting the mulch out anyways. You're just adding another, it's almost like a soil amendment, but it's not an amendment. It's food. It's almost like planting a seed in your mulch. So yeah, it's a win-win-win. If you're using wood chips and you don't want Strophoria and you want oyster, exact same thing. Or you can do what we're doing, and today we're going to show you how to expand your project. This already has SRA, Strophoria rugosa annulata mycelium in it. I have another area that I want to start growing this. So what we're going to do is we're going to dig up some of the mulch. And this is actually another benefit of the mulch. You can see how this straw is being held together Oh, and there's an earthworm too. Given the choice, earthworms are always going to go to a myceliated mulch over a non-myceliated mulch. Another benefit. Here I'm trying to show you one benefit and I find another. Fungi is amazing. But you can see how this straw is being held together. You shouldn't be able to hold straw together like that, even if it's wet. Well, you see all that fine white hair? That's the fungal mycelium. That's essentially the major part of the fungi. This is like the tree, this is the apple. The fruit bodies are only a small portion of the organism. But so you can take some of this myceliated mulch, and if you have a parental area, this is almost like the mother of a kombucha or a sourdough starter. You can dig up some of your myceliated mulch and transplant it somewhere else. And I'll show you how we do that. We'll be doing the same thing with our oyster mushrooms. See you in a second. All right, I'm back. Throwing some raspberries. I don't know if you can quite see it. We've got our playground in there for our farmstead guests, the kiddos that live on the farm. But we've just added a bunch of pine chip mulch in this area. We're gonna inoculate it with some mushrooms. This is a mushroom bucket. If you want to learn more about it, check out our video, bucket full of oysters. It's spent, it's fruited a few times, but we're gonna take the myceliated mass of pine in it, break it up and spread it throughout the wood chips here. And since this mycelium's already consumed everything that it can in this pine chips, it'll start eating and spreading through the rest of these pine chips. And hopefully in a little while, we'll see oyster mushrooms coming up out of the ground. You can see this chunk here, it's not quite as white. It's, maybe got some contamination in it. No big deal. We're not doing this for production. Would I want to introduce this into a sterile grow room? No, we're outside. There's going to be other competitors here. But we're hoping to, one, jumpstart the fungal processes here, and two, to pick the mushrooms that we get growing here. That way we have something that we know we can harvest. It is important, if you're gonna, be eating mushrooms that you grow, that you learn how to identify them, learn if there's anything that looks like them. That's part of why I like oyster mushrooms and Stropharia rugosa or wine cap, is they're very easily identifiable. They don't have a lot of lookalikes that could be toxic. Remember, all mushrooms are edible. Some of them only once. Yeah, I'm not saying to go eat every mushroom. I'm saying that you can eat them all, but some of them you can only eat once because you won't be around. Yeah, that's my I'm a fun guy joke. Anyways, so I'm essentially just breaking this up. I'm not going to cover this whole area with this. I've got other buckets. I'll be adding them later. You don't want to watch me breaking up myceliated wood chips. You're just here to learn about why you should. So that's why you should. In just a second, we're going to show you how we're spreading and utilizing, creating more Stropharia. All right, so I'm back. We're out in one of the tree belts in our goat paddocks. This is kind of what in permaculture you would consider maybe a zone 3.5, 4, managed but not heavily managed. You can see there is some mulch on the ground. Basically, when we clean the goat barn out every once in a while, well, we clean it religiously, but sometimes when we clean it out, we come dump it out here, spread the mulch or spread the bedding around as mulch. I've brought some of this Stropharia rugosa annulata mycelium from the turkey pen, and all we need to do to introduce it into this mulch is to come out here and, mix it in. The more we have, the faster it'll spread. You probably can't even see me, But the more we have, the faster it'll spread, but even a little bit, it'll take over. And you might get other mushrooms, that's fine. But you're at least introducing some. You know you'll have fungal activity. And the key part of why I like to introduce a known mushroom into the mulch, whether it's oysters or Stropharia rugosa, is, you know, if you mulch and you don't add that, yeah, eventually some sort of fungi will take over and you'll get the ecological benefits of that fungi. But it's almost like preparing a garden bed and just seeing what nature plants. You're probably not going to like what you get. It may not be bad. A lot of weeds have great ecological restoration functions. That's why they show up if you till. So you can kind of have the same thing with weed mushrooms. But, you know, if you inoculate your mulch with oysters or Stropharia rugosa annulata, you know you have that fungal activity. It's going to happen faster. You're going to get the benefits faster. Your plants are going to thrive. You'll have mushrooms to put in your salad. All in all, it's a win. Yeah. If you have any questions, comments, we love to hear from you. Let us know what you're thinking. Yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And until next time, happy growing.